What's up? This is Metal Nate, and I'm here with Steve Tinnon of Silence the Messenger. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. What's the weather like over there in Texas?
It is freaking hot already, and I don't like it. I'm hearing all kinds of my friends in other states up north, and they're talking about, oh, there's still snow, and it's cold, and whatever, and it's like 80-something degrees out here. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, man, it just like snowed here 2 days ago or something, and it's like 30-something out right now.
It's retarded. I wish I had that right now.
See, I would swap with you any day. But, you just released an EP, Buried. How long was that in the works for you guys?
Honestly, man, that album has actually been that album has been in the works for this band for at least a year and a half, 2 years. We released an old EP back in 2008 called Beneath the Scars, but most of that stuff was actually already written before any of us were in the band, and so there's been a couple member changes throughout the past couple of years, and it's always just been one thing after another, and finally back in, I guess, September or so, we decided to get the ball rolling and finally put something out.
Cool.
And it was really just something long time in the works. It was just way overdue for this band, and finally got it taken care of, and we're all super stoked on it. And
have you been writing or recording anything else since then?
Writing, yeah, we've already started the writing process for new stuff. I mean, for shows here and there, you have, your standard, you got to get in shape for that. But the writing process, it almost never stops. Just pumping out the jams, So it's already going. We're thinking about recording some demo stuff. Hopefully, in the next few months or so. You never know. It just doesn't stop. You just got to keep going.
And have you received any feedback, like industry feedback, on the Buried EP material at all?
A little bit. We've got friends in other bands that that have the CD, and they show it to whoever they're going to show it to, and yeah, I've heard a couple of people that from like bigger booking agencies and that kind of thing that said they actually liked it and liked how it sounded, and and your friends are going to say oh, it's sick, dude, whatever, but actually it's been getting a lot of really good feedback, and every once in a while, I kind of take a look at some of the reviews, like on iTunes or YouTube or something like that, to see what people are saying. And so far, it's actually been really, really positive feedback, and we're all super stoked on it. That it's been getting some attention. So that's going really well.
And how often are you guys able to tour nowadays? Because you all have day jobs. You work at Best Buy, right?
Yeah, I do.
Sweet.
We actually all have jobs. I work there. One of our guitarists, Paolo, works for a sushi restaurant. James and Jonathan actually work for Guitar Center. So we all have day jobs, but actually, as of like maybe 3 months ago, we've had a manager since about October, and we just got picked up by a touring agency a few months ago, and so now the touring schedule is going to be a lot more steady and constant, and we're all super stoked on that. We would play out-of-town shows here and there throughout the year. And we actually did our own tour. We self-booked it like a couple of years ago, but there's just been so many things going on here and there, and like now that we finally have this booking agency, it's gonna be a little bit more constant. We're all super stoked on that to just kind of finally get this ball rolling,
Definitely. As far as lyrics go, where do you find inspiration when you're writing?
Man, you hear a lot of people saying it, but honestly, it's all been everything that's on Buried has all been from just basically just experiences from life, and it happens to the best of us. It's just been like one thing after another, and for the most part, Buried, honestly, you can relate it to however you want to relate it, but for me, Buried is personally about this, relationships gone wrong type of thing, and not so much whining about it, but just kind of persevering and getting over it, and just just putting that behind you and moving on, So it's all got to come from somewhere, but from the bad comes good, and that's how Buried came together for me, man. It's just personal stuff,
okay.
And we'll see where the next record goes. We'll see what happens. maybe things will get better.
And then, like song by song, are they all generally about that? Like, what? I was wondering about Destructionist.
Destructionist, especially. They're actually pretty much, yeah. Some of the lyrics are, some of it's metaphorical, like an abomination. I speak of like when I say this abomination rests without life, it's kind of like in reference to all the bad situations as one, like as a beast or some physical thing, you know, that you can actually kill or leave behind you, you know. So metaphorically speaking, that's what I say. Some of the songs are more metaphorical. Some of them are just up front, and I'm just like talking right at you, just more in your face. So I kind of like to go back and forth, you know, between the two writing styles, just to kind of keep it interesting. And I know, like I said, I guess we'll kind of see how the next record goes. But that was kind of my thought process for all of Buried. I kind of wanted to go back and forth. Some was just, you know, blatant and right there, and then some of it I wanted to kind of make you give it more of a visual feel.
Okay.
Make you think about it a little bit more, you know.
Yeah. Is there like a most meaningful track out of the 4 songs on that? Because I mean, there are a bunch of instrumentals alongside the main
yeah,
tracks.
Obviously there's the five tracks, and then there's the 3.
That's right. Yeah, 5.
The 3 instrumentals we actually are really cool. They kind of give the album like a general, like a feel, like a texture, a theme kind of. And we thought those were really important. Instead of just putting like 5 tracks together just to create something to hand out, we wanted to actually give, you know, we create the artwork, the CD layout for a reason. It looks a certain way, and it goes with the interludes, you know, before the CD starts, in the middle, and at the very end, it all kind of wraps together, and it gives the whole entire album a feel. So there's a lot more put into it than just, you know, oh, here's our EP. You know, we wanted to make it at least something memorable and something that you can feel. As far as like a favorite track, I guess for me personally, man, I would probably say Destructionist. To be honest with you, like that. I think it kind of gets pretty down and dirty as far as I mean, as lyrical content goes. It's pretty pretty in your face, and some of the stuff, I mean, comes off as hateful, and but I mean, you know, there's different ways of getting over stuff. So I think for me personally, I think Destructionist is probably the most near and dear to my heart, I would say.
Okay. As far as other bands that you look to for like influence when you're sort of as a band writing songs, are there any bands that have like majorly influenced you guys?
Yeah, I mean, well, as a whole, actually, each one of us takes influence from multiple bands. Me personally, I mean, everybody focuses on their main instrument, I guess, you know, when they're looking at a band. I mean, you notice the other parts of the band. I mean, me personally, some of the vocalists that inspire me, first and foremost, I would say Corey Taylor from Slipknot. I think he's an incredible lyricist, an incredible frontman. I just think he's just great, and he deserves to be where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Tommy from Between the Buried and Me. I think I've seen those guys a few times live, and he's just immaculate live. He hits every note. He's on point. He's great. As far as stuff more in our scene, there's a singer named Nate Johnson. If some of you are familiar with his name, he was the singer through the Eyes of the Dead on their second album called Malice. He's no longer with the band. He has his own band right now called Fit for an Autopsy, and super brutal. You guys should check that band out. As far as just brutal vocals, he's just at the top of my list. He's just great. So, but like I said, everybody else takes, you know, influence from other bands. But as far as, you know, singers, for me, yeah, those are some of the singers that stand out to me the most, that I get inspiration from on just multiple levels, as far as lyrics, how they perform, just all kinds of stuff. That's kind of what inspires me.
Okay. Heading into the summer now, have you guys got anything planned tour-wise, or shows, like big shows with like some big tours that are coming through?
As of right now, we just got finished booking a tour for April. It's going to be April 15th through May 1st. It's just a little like 15-day thing. It's our first tour through this booking agency, so we're pretty stoked to see how it turns out. It's called the Road to Retribution Tour. There's dates for it up on our MySpace, and it should be up on our Facebook soon. It's with a band from Fort Worth, Texas, called Within Chaos. So it'll be cool to meet those guys and hang out with them and just get to know them for a couple of weeks. So other than that, we're kind of in the works right now, figuring out, you know, May, June, summer, July, that kind of thing. We've already got some plans, but nothing solidified yet. We're kind of in the works, but like I said earlier, you know, we're super stoked to be working with this booking agency now. So we're stoked to see what they can put out for us. So stuff's in the works. It's just nothing solid yet.
For sure. Any chance we could see you up here in the East Coast?
Definitely, man. The Road to Retribution tour is basically going through like Alabama, Arkansas, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, back to Texas. So it's like a Southeast Coast thing.
Yeah.
You know, the next tour or two, we are planning on either doing West Coast or heading up north. So it's definitely going to happen, and you better be out to the show.
Oh, dude, I'm going to be there. It's going to be awesome.
You better be there.
And you've toured with other bands. Have you? I know you were in American Me because I was at that one of the shows on that tour.
Yeah.
You were filling in, right?
Yeah, I was actually filling in for Tony from American Me. We've been friends with those guys for like a year and a half now, 2 years, and like they're great dudes. And all of a sudden, just like one day, Brian, one of their guitarists, Brian, had called me up like 2 weeks before they were supposed to leave on this tour, the American Dream tour, and it was supposed to be for a month and a half. He's like, "Hey man, Tony can't do the tour. Is there any way you can fill in?" And luckily, with my band, we didn't have anything booked for the entire month of April, and I had the money to go, and all I had to do was just clear it with my job. And I've worked with my company for over 5 years now, and they've been super supportive of everything I need to do with my band, and they give me time off when I need it. So I just cleared it with my manager to be gone for a month and a half, and
that's awesome.
Next thing I know, I'm flying out to Portland to practice with them for a week, and then do a full U.S. tour with them. So that was a great experience. I couldn't have imagined anything like that. I mean, it was so awesome. They're great dudes, and I met some good friends in other bands that were on the tour, and I just met some good people out in there, out in the country, and it was just a sick experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better out of that. So everything since then, I did what I could to promote my band and stuff throughout the country, and here I am talking to you about it.
Yeah.
So I did something right. So, it went really well, man. I was just super stoked to do it, and it was a great thing for me, great thing for the band, and it's just all around awesome.
Yeah. Any chance of getting American Me to take you guys out on their next tour? I think that would be great to have for them to bring you around the U.S.
That would be great. You never know. Me and Tony have talked about it. He's expressed interest in doing it. It would be super awesome if we went out with those guys. We love them, and they definitely. Right now, they're working on some new stuff. They're in the writing process right now, so maybe after they release their new CD, they might do a headliner or something. You never know. We'll see. It's definitely being talked about, but nothing for sure yet.
So, in the upcoming year, then you're going to be doing some tours. Going to be doing some more writing and some demoing. Next EP in 2012, maybe, you think, or is it going to be a full length?
You never know, man. If we're starting to, along with touring, we're starting to look for we're starting to do a little bit of label shopping and kind of trying to gain some more interest. And you never know if something gets picked up. If we get picked up sooner than expected, you never know. You might see a full length within the next year or so. So it's possible, but on our own right now, we're just going to try and push Buried as much as possible, because I mean, some of these songs we've been playing for at least a year, but put finishing touches on them, changing them, making them better. For the album, and we just released in January, so we're still going to push Buried as hard as we can, as long as we can. So I'm hoping to not. Me personally, I'm hoping to not tour off of it for any more than a year. I'd like to get another release out before then, but we're just going to push that as much as hard as we can. But definitely keep an eye out over the next few months, because we are, like I said, the writing process has already begun for new stuff. So keep an eye out for sure.
Awesome. Well, good to hear from you today, and I'm stoked that you're writing more stuff, and the Bury's doing well, and I hope you guys get up here soon. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Anytime, man.